Don't I know you, sir?
Don't believe so. I haven't been here in many years. Name's Silas Greaves.
Silas Greaves? The bounty hunter?
Used to be.
Ah, what are you doing here in Abilene?
Just passing through. Got a little business to take care of.
Well, sir, it would be an honor if you would allow me to buy you a beer.
Hell, son, it would be my honor to drink it.
I'm Molly. Howdy.
I'm Dwight. That's Jack and Steve. Ben's behind the bar. Oh, I bet you got some great stories.
A couple.
Any of them true?
Jack, be nice.
A few.
What about your shootout with Henry Plummer's gang in Bannock, Montana? Is that where you started as a bounty hunter? That's what it says in this here dime novel.
Don't believe everything you read in them dime novels, boy. First man I hunted was back when I was riding with Billy the Kid.
You knew Billy the Kid?
Damn right. That scrawny son of a bitch had no fear. Wouldn't back down for nobody.
I heard he collected the 10 stars off any crooked lawmen who crossed him.
It was a war, boy. The Lincoln County War. And Billy promised his regulators would take the life of every bastard who helped bushwhack John Tunstall.
Kid had a big chip on his shoulder and a hair-trigger temper. Made him dangerous as hell.
Hallo und willkommen zurück zu einem kleinen neuen Projekt. Call of Juarez, Gunslinger. It's old but gold.
It was about 30 years ago. Billy was hiding out in an abandoned farm near Stinking Springs. I threw in with the kid because the man I had sworn vengeance on was riding with Billy's enemies. But before I tell you why I want that sumbitch dead, let me tell you what happened that day.
Okay.
I was heading back to the hideout when suddenly I had this funny feeling.
Funny, haha?
No, Steve. The other kind of funny.
Okay. Gucken wir uns hier mal um. Jawohl. Buh. Ihr schmeckt bestimmt gut. Gut. Gibt's hier irgendwas? Nö. Dann gucken wir uns mal weiter um. Okay, aktuelle Mission. Drücke das. Kehre zum Versteck zurück.
That's not fair. We're missing all the fun.
I knew those two morons would never let me through. I had no choice.
Liegen wir so.
Shoot that sumbitch!
Okay, es gibt Erfahrungspunkte. Levelausstieg, um zusätzliche Fähigkeiten freizuschalten. Alles klar.
Was it Pat Garrett's posse?
Oh yeah.
So,
I heard the shots and I knew I had to move fast. Garrett and his army of deputies had surrounded the entire homestead.
Fire at will! Spread out, goddammit!
Aha.
Hey, we have one behind us! Stay
Okay,
on
du
it!
bist unsterblich.
Fire!
They're coming from the rear!
I decided to help Billy and the boys out a bit. So that's just what I did.
Zack. Sollte mal mehr in Deckung gehen, wa? Der steckt aber gut
As
aus.
the governor of New Mexico was paying for the kid's apprehension, Garrett was able to hire every gun hand in Lincoln County.
Na komm. Gut, mit dem Thema Distanzwaffe, ne? Oh, ich muss weg. Oh, da fällt der Schädel runter. Gut. Ich will ein Gewehr haben. Distanz, Kopfschuss. Na komm. Hab's du. Noch Kopfschuss. bin ich. So, gibt's hier irgendwas? Ich könnte irgendwie ein Gewehr gebrauchen. Ja. Okay, das sind also als Erfahrungspunkte. Das ist schön. Okay, was haben wir hier? Alles. Hier kannst du Fähigkeitspunkte ausgeben. Okay. Herzlichen Glückwunsch. Revolverheld. Tapferer Nahkämpfer. Okay. Gehen wir auf Akimbo. Auf jeden Fall. Jawohl.
Garrett's men were running around like a bunch of chickens with their heads cut off.
Wo bist du? Wo bist du? Da. Weg mit euch. Stimmt, Konzentration habe ich auch noch. Wo hockt er?
Still, one of them reached the water tower.
Du kannst
Not a
tödliche
bad
Schüsse
idea.
Vollständig aufgeladen.
It would be a turkey shoot from up there.
Gerade Nacht, Boy. Weg mit euch. Irgendwer noch da? Nee. Ah, da oben ist nämlich ein Gewehr.
Luckily, these shooters Garrett hired weren't the sharpest tools in the shed.
Zum Benutzen.
The right position is very important. Personally, I prefer to be on top.
Oh, you do, do you?
Oh. Schnellschüsse?
Indeed, darling. But where was I? Oh, yeah.
Okay, komm. Weg mit dir. Da Platz, oder? Boy.
A lot of them were saddle tramps or sod busters or drunken drifters looking to make a few bucks.
Die brauchen mehr Kopfschüsse. So, das ist voll. Stark, weg mit dir. Ist da irgendwas? Ranger? Ranger? Oh, explosive Fächer? Ich erinnere mich so dunkel.
Then, I heard a friendly voice yelling at me from the window. Back door! We'll cover you!
Watch your flank!
Truth be told, things weren't much better behind the house.
Okay. Weg.
I cut their numbers in half, but that just made the ones that were left twice as mad. They made up for their lack of skill with a seemingly endless supply of ammo. It was a bit of a slog, but I finally fought my way around the back of the house.
Genau. Erstmal nachladen. Na? Die Spielungen sind arg übertrieben. Aber ist okay. Komme ich mir klar. Seife, Wasser, gut. Hallo.
And like that, I was inside, none the worse for wear.
Oh.
I passed dirty days.
Hallo. Dürft nicht vorbei, danke.
And upstairs, I found Billy and Charlie Bowlby.
Okay. Billy is a kid, Meisterschütze. Blau wie ein Fuchs. Und
Billy looked at me and
Oh, einige.
said, "About time, amigo. Grab a gun and get to the window."
Wait, so you were friends with Billy the Kid?
Yeah, sort of. Anyway, we were surrounded by dozens of deputized shooters who wanted to do us harm.
nach.
I can keep this up all day.
Na komm. Na komm schon.
I'm telling you, Garrett's men were dropping like flies, but they just kept on coming.
Na komm schon. Hey, gut.
That's when Charlie got hit. They're catching us in a crossfire, shouted Billy. Get to the other side.
Komm, lad nach. Oi.
Where'd he go?
Ei. Sag weg.
Damn ears are ringing.
Na komm schon. Jawohl, komm schon.
I don't know how many of those cocksuckers I personally put down, but it was pretty clear, even to Billy, that maybe discretion was the better part of valor.
What's that mean?
It means that it was time to cut and run. They got a Gatling, Billy shouted. Get the horses and bring them round back. I'll draw their attention. He directed that order at me, and I thought, why the hell do I have to do it? But I went anyway.
Da lang?
Dumbass that I was back then.
Okay.
Those poor sons of bitches are
Many
done
would have
for.
fled in my place.
Kijk mit dir.
But I had that false sense of invincibility that many young men have. Like Jack here.
So garantiert
What are
hinter
you
dir.
saying, old man?
Jack, he's just joshing with you.
Jawohl.
Yeah, he better be.
Mr. Greaves, please continue.
Kacke.
Please, call me Silas, ma'am.
Okay.
Now, where was I?
Ja, da hat
You
sich
were heading
Zeit
for the
gesagt.
barn.
Oi.
Gonna cut you, boy.
Weg. Oh, Nahkampf umlegen.
Making my way past the passel of fallen foes.
Jawohl. Hoch von oben auf jeden Fall.
Sounds like Garrett hired a whole regiment of hired guns.
Weg mit
Yeah,
euch.
and just when I thought I was done with them, more of these hapless bastards would pop up.
Ich hab noch was. Tiefe Taschen, ja. Vorrang. Ui. Na, damit hab ich gerechnet, war Boy.
Finally, I had the stables within my reach. After the fight, maybe we could treat ourselves to some fried chicken.
Ja, das war's doch noch nicht. Kommt schon, Boy.
And that's when I met Sheriff Pat Garrett.
I read
Okay.
that you went toe-to-toe with him, sir. That backstabbing bastard with that tacked-on tin star.
Genau. Sehen. Ungeschickt. Ach stimmt, Duelle gibt's ja hier auch.
You challenged him to a showdown.
You read that in a dime novel?
It said he showed no fear as he took your measure with eyes like a rattlesnake.
So. Fokus. Halte deinen Gegner im Fokus. Du kletterst, um fortzufahren. Okay. Ja. Komm, Babe. Komm, Baby. Ja. Wer jemand eine Waffe greift, drücke das, um die Waffe zu ziehen. Ziele damit und schieße dann auf.
And that you killed him in a fair fight.
Is that what that penny dreadful said? No, boy. That ain't what I meant when I said I met Pat Garrett. So let me start again. I finally reached those damn stables.
Okay. Ah, hier sind meine Waffen. Aktimbo. Na, komm her. Wie ist der Pat Garrison?
And stepped inside, and bam!
Kriegt voll aufs
Last thing I heard was Garrett's voice. That's not Billy.
And go on. How did it end?
And, boy, that was just the beginning.
Genau. Erfolge erlebte. Ehrenhaft getötet. Jawohl. Genau, fortsetzen. Du scheinst ein bisschen zu leicht gewesen zu sein. Ja, komm, geh mal zu schwer.
So what happened? Did Garrett arrest you?
Yeah, after I came to, the bastard had clocked me with his Colt.
And the kid surrendered?
When he realized there was no getting out of there alive.
So they locked you up in Lincoln?
Indeed they did. Sentenced me to hang right along with the kid.
Für eine Handvoll heißes Blei. Dum 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 dum.
It's important to know that I was only riding with Billy so I could find the bastard I was after.
Okay. Lass mich raus! Lass mich raus!
He was with John Kinney's gang, and they were sworn enemies of Billy's regulators.
Why were you after him?
I owed that son of a bitch a bullet for what he had done to me and mine. Instead, all I got for myself was a goddamn death sentence. Luckily, it was right around then that I heard Billy make his move. He shot Jim Bell and a few other guards as he made his getaway. Later, they wrote that some lady friend planted a pistol for him in the privy. What the papers didn't say is that Billy helped me escape too.
Ja, mach auf den Laden da. Einmal Schlüssel.
My first order of business was finding a firearm.
Okay, ich brauche also eine... Oh, ein Geheimnis. Ich brauche eine Pistole.
Luckily, I located Deputy Bob Ollinger's mean-ass shotgun.
Jawohl, gib her das Ding. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I saw Billy through the window, and he yelled that I should take to the rooftops to make my escape. So I did.
Anybody see Billy?
Hell yeah. That scatter gun was like a double-barreled howitzer. It could blow a man clear off his feet. You hardly had to aim the damn thing. The kid's escape raised a huge ruckus. Guards were everywhere looking for him.
Boy.
Can't let the kid get away.
Oh my God! Anybody see him?
I had to jump from roof to roof like a damn alley cat. I followed the planks where I could, but some of that wood was slippery as hell. The whole town was up in arms.
Jawohl.
And suddenly, I was a fugitive.
Plötzlich war ich ein Flüchtling. Plötzlich war ich ein Flüchtling. Und weg hier.
So that bastard you were after, what did he do?
He did me and my family a grievous harm. But I knew if I was ever gonna find him, I would need to get my ever-loving ass out of there.
Ja, dann los.
I tried to be stealthy and sneak my way past.
Where'd he get you?
This town doesn't have a moment's peace.
Natürlich bahne ich mir den Weg.
You! But hell, if they weren't all waiting for me. Apparently, some of them thought I was Billy.
You hooligans.
Weg. So.
See, me and the kids shared a certain similarity in build and coloring. I was just glad I had Deputy Bob's mean-ass shotgun.
Danke. Habe ich nicht mittlerweile schon? Jawohl.
Put down your weapon!
They're shooting us free.
I'm here! Get your headstone!
So much lead was whizzing by my head, it was like everyone in Lincoln wanted to put me in the ground. I knew I needed to find a horse. Though I never did have a great fondness for those four-legged grass eaters. Smelly, sweaty, ungrateful beasts. We prize them too high, if you ask me.
Nein. Der Läufer. Adlerauge. Ja, so ein bisschen kenne ich es noch.
Hey, I'll flank him! Give it up!
Wir müssen gucken.
You're threatening the lives of innocent people.
Ja. Hier ist zu. Ah, Leiter hoch.
Damn town's going to hell in a handbag!
Hier irgendwo holt man noch her. Gut, da lang. Aber hier war ich doch schon. Die Tür kriege ich ja nicht auf. Ja, zum Betreten. Werde ich wahrscheinlich hinten runter müssen, weil hier alles zu ist. Na, gehen wir halt hier an.
But where was the kid while you were busy getting shot at?
Gone. And that's when it occurred to me why Billy set me free. So I could be a hapless decoy and draw attention while he snuck out of town. I knew if I made it out of there in one piece, no one would put a price on my head.
Warten.
Because everybody in Lincoln would be dead?
No, because they all thought I was Billy. And all that blame would fall on him.
Lag doch gerade ohne Waffe.
Meanwhile, Deputy Bob Ollinger was organizing a posse to put me down. He was already a mean son of a bitch, but he was doubly pissed that I stole his mean-ass shotgun. Anyway, it was me or them, and the only way forward led me straight to perdition. But the cards were dealt, and I had no choice but to play them.
Ja, nee, ich will das Spielschrot hinter behalten. Die macht mächtig Aua.
We're gonna be in deep shit when Cat gets back.
Wo hockt er denn? Weg mit dir. Wo? Oh Gott. Wo ist er? Der gelber Bastard? Hallo? Spannt euch mal. Oh Gott. Guck mal. Zack, eigenhändig erschossen. Na kommt. Ja, nicht so mit mir, Keule. Nicht so mit mir. Na komm. Na komm. Der hockt da. Genau. Ah, werden nicht weniger alles. Deckung. Weg. Du bist hin. Nein, so nicht. Muss doch irgendwo Geheimnisse geben. Einfach simple Shooter-Action. Muss näher ran. Das bin zu weit weg. Hey, du wieder kleiner. Ah, da hat er unser Kopf gekriegt, wa? Oi. Oh, das war's, deine Munition. Ja, zum Glück halt die Schrot noch. Nee. Erstmal ein bisschen in Deckung gehen. Liegt hier noch irgendwas, was wichtig ist? Nö. Oh, stimmt. Schrot ist ja eine Distanzwaffe. Das sind ja eher alles Glückstreffer. Wird der extra Punkte geben? Das Schrot getroffen? Braucht eine Munition. Na?
Finally, I found what I was looking for. The stables on the edge of town.
Zack, weg. Perfekt. Fokus ist wieder voll.
I guess Billy saved your ass, taking out Bob Ollinger the way he did.
Billy didn't kill Bob.
Well, sure he did. He dispatched him right after he shot Deputy Bell.
No, sir. Because Bob came right up behind me, angry as hell that Billy had lit out. Hello, Bob, I said.
Na?
I think you better let me go. And he says, I don't think so, boy. Not with my shotgun. So we stood there in the middle of the street, eyeball to eyeball.
Okay. Komm
He
schon,
intended
Baby.
to kill me, and I knew I had no choice but to defend myself.
Handposition. Okay. Na komm. Na komm, Dickerchen, komm. Komm. Wenn du den Herzschlag hören kannst, kannst du deine Waffe zuerst ziehen. Das wird doch jetzt unendhaft betrachtet, okay. Nee. Er war ein Ticken zu langsam. Ich bin tot. A und D, ja. Komm her, mein Dickerchen. Komm her. Komm. Dich kriege ich. Dich kriege ich.
I killed him in a fair fight. Everybody saw I had no damn choice. Well,
jawohl.
Lincoln got a mite depopulated that day. Pat Garrett gunned down Billy 3 months later, so his escape was all for naught anyway.
Und damit verabschiede ich mich von der ersten Folge. Und wir sehen uns am nächsten wieder. Bis denn. Ciao.